For loop. So when you need to execute a block of code a whole bunch of times, we use looping statements. So first off, we're going to learn how to use the for loop in Java. The for loop is a control flow statement that iterates a part of the program multiple times. So the general form of the for statement can be expressed like you see here in the slide. Initialization declares the initial value of the controlling variable. The controlling variable can be defined in line with the for loop or defined previously. Typically, the for loop uses an integer variable. The condition is a Boolean expression. So in other words, it must result in either a true or false output. If the condition is true, the loop continues to execute. Relational operators are what's used in the Boolean expression. So after each execution of the statements, the control variable is updated according to increment or decrement. Also, you'll see here on the slide the for loop execution flow. The first step, in for loop, the initialization part only executes once. The second step, condition in the for loop, is evaluated on each iteration. So if the condition is true, then the loop body gets executed. If the condition returns false, statements in the loop body do not execute, and the control gets transferred to the next statement in the program after the for loop. Third step, after each execution of the for loop's body, the increment-decrement part of the for loop updates the value of the controlling variable. And then the last step. After the third step, the control jumps to the second step and the condition is reevaluated. You'll see why in a minute. So let's do up some examples with the for loop. So in the exercise project, right-click on the source folder and select New and Class. Specify the package name as Loop and the class name as For Loop, and then select the checkbox for the main method. So let's start to write a program that prints int numbers from 1 to 10 by using the for loop. So we'll declare a variable I. We initialize this variable in for loop. Our condition is I less than or equal to 10, and it increments by 1. And we can use the print method to write our numbers to our screen. All right, so let's run the code. And you see the numbers from 1 to 10. So here, the variable I is declared and initialized to 1. Then the test condition is evaluated, and if this condition is true, the body of the for loop is executed and prints 1 on the screen. Then the update expression I++ is executed. Now the value of I is increased to 2. And again, the test condition is evaluated. 2 is less than 10, so the condition is true and the body of the for loop is executed and then prints 2 on the screen. You with me? The iteration process runs until I is 11. When I is 11, since 11 is greater than 10, the test condition is false and the for loop terminates. So now let's write a program to find the sum of the numbers from 1 to 5. We'll declare a variable sum with the initial value 0. So in the for loop, we can use variable k, and we'll declare an initialized variable k with the 0 value. So our test condition is k is less than or equal to 5, and it increments by 1. And then we assign the sum plus k to the variable sum with the add and assignment operator. So the value of k is increased until k is greater than 5. All right, so let's print the value of k in the for loop by using our print method. And then finally, we'll use the print method after for loop to display the sum of numbers. Okay, so let's run the code. And you see the values of key and sum of numbers is 15. All right, then, so let's write a program to find the sum of even numbers from 1 to 10. So just go back and copy the previous code, and now make changes for the test condition and the increment-decrement part. Test condition is 10, and k increments by 2. So the variable k is always an even number. And then finally, we'll use the print method after the for loop to display the sum of the even numbers. Okay, so let's run the code. Now, you see the values of the key and the sum of even numbers, which is 30.